Vamos caminando.
Aquí.
No, caminando.
Aquí.
¿Caminando?
Aquí.
No.
Aquí.
No.
Sí.
No.
Sí.
Sí.
No.
Bueno, no, vamos.
So that seems really silly, but that's what breaking a pattern is, and I hate to break it to you, but adults are the same way, right? Sometimes we just fall into these patterns of habitual denying something or not wanting to do this or getting stuck in a certain way, and there is no way you can persuade someone until you break them out of that just gut reaction to resist, right? So this is what breaking patterns is all about. People get into a certain mode, and before you can get them to a new mode, you need to break the pattern of the old mode. So I'll give you an example from my own life really quick. When I was back working at a corporation as a consultant, there was this one day and I took a long weekend. I'd asked in advance if I could go out to Montauk during the day. And I said, listen, the bus that I'm taking is going to have Wi-Fi. I have a call in the morning. I'll be able to take it then, and then I'll take the afternoon off when I get there. They said, okay, like, no, sure, right? Go ahead and do it. And I get on the bus, I sit down, and the Wi-Fi is terrible. And I get on the phone, and it just cuts out every 5 minutes, right? And I'm on this conference call, I'm dialing it back in. Like, people are not happy about it because I'm just constantly in and out. So, as I suspected, on Monday morning, I get a call from my direct superior, and I pick it up, right, first thing in the morning. He goes, so I heard you shit the bed on Friday. And I'm expecting it, but it's still just like, oh, damn, I'm in trouble. And he starts, going into it about how I should not have done this, should not have done this. And I think what a lot of people do here is they say, well, listen, I'd asked previously, like I did. And I knew better than that at this point, right? I was knees deep in this sort of psychology stuff. So what I said was, you're absolutely right. It was dumb. I shouldn't have done it. Everything you said is correct, and it won't happen again. And I'm sorry. And I remember there was like a reset silence on the end of the phone. He went, well, don't beat yourself up too bad, man. It's not that big a deal. And he went from really just pushing, like, you screwed up, to like, listen, man, it's not that big of a deal. Honestly, I'm going to cover for you. I'll explain to them. I'm going to tell them that you had, previously asked, that you didn't see it coming. Just like you said, don't do this in the future. I said, sure. That was it. It blew over immediately over the course of one 7-minute phone call, because what happened there was I broke a pattern. Right? He came in there expecting a fight, expecting resistance. You screwed up. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. I can prove it. I've got call logs. I've got time. I've got witness testimony, right? That's what he was expecting. But when I immediately said, you're absolutely right, I just put my hands up and said, shouldn't have done that. I messed up. It won't happen again, and I'm sorry. All of a sudden, he was reset. His pattern was broken. And that enabled him to go into, you know what, it wasn't so bad. So this is the power of breaking patterns. And what I want you to be thinking of whenever you're trying to move someone, right? If there's ever been a time in your life where you're trying to get pissed and somebody continually makes you laugh, right? This is one I'm guilty of all the time. When people start to get angry at me, I start like cracking jokes, talking in silly voices, and it deflates their anger, because it's very, very hard to stay in one mode if people don't react in a prescribed way. For instance, Tony Robbins tells this story about one of his first seminars way back when he was a young guy. And he's giving the seminar, and it's in the middle of summer in this giant auditorium, and the air conditioning cuts, right? So you've got all these people crammed in here in this auditorium. The air conditioning is out, and they're like waiting. I think they have to wait for like an hour before they can even go. And they say, no, the air conditioning's out. We just got to roll. And then he gets them their workbooks, and the workbooks are screwed up, right? The pages haven't printed correctly. So he's up there trying to get started. And one guy raises his hand. He goes, this is ridiculous. I will not stand for this. It is too hot in here. I cannot be here. And Tony, how do you expect someone to react? Apologetically, perhaps, right? That's what you're expecting. Tony knows better. So he immediately decides to break his pattern. And he looks at him and he goes, you are absolutely right. This is ridiculous. I will not stand for this. And if you want to go right now, I insist you do. And the guy says, well, I don't want to go. He goes, no, this is wrong. People are not supporting you. They are not supporting me. This is completely wrong. But you know what? I'm going to continue this because this is important to everyone else here and myself. And if you can't do it, then I think that you need to go and get yourself a refund. The guy says, well, I think I'll stay. He says, no. You don't think you're going to stay. You either commit to being here and you make this a positive experience, or you go ahead and I will be more than happy to give you a refund because I want what is best for you. And the guy is just like completely blown away, right? He was expecting deference, but what he got was an aggressive tone of voice that was completely supporting him. That just scrambles your brain. That breaks the pattern. And what do you think the guy did? He sat down, didn't make a peep, and had a wonderful time there while he sweated his ass off. So breaking patterns, there's a number of ways to do it, right? Anything that goes against what people are expecting. So this can be tone of voice. This can be making them laugh. This can be speaking, high, low. I guess I already said tone of voice. It could be the way that you use your body, whether you walk away from them. You just want to scramble what they're expecting. And when you do that, you force them to reevaluate the situation with a new set of eyes. Also, a more influenceable set of eyes, if you will. Because when people are in that moment that guy was in, where they're just like this, right? They're just back in their seats. They're very suggestible. And so what Tony had right there was he had a person who he could suggest, like, listen, this is going to be good for you, blah, 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 is basically what he said to him. And the guy said, okay, it is, and then stuck with that. So breaking patterns, huge, 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 huge. One of the best ways to do it that I highly recommend is humor. So one of the things that I will often do when people start talking about subjects that are really heavy, and I can see that, yes, it's important that we connect over this, but also they're indulging a little bit too much, right? They are really soaking up their sad story, is crack a joke at that moment. And when you can make them laugh when they are in the throes of their sob story, you begin to rewrite the meaning of that story for them. And if you do it enough times, they won't be able to continue to go back into that sense of, my childhood was so hard and it didn't work, and all that stuff. When you break the pattern as opposed to just commiserating, you get them to a much more resourceful state. So that is breaking a pattern in short. Go out and try it in your own life, right? Anything that you can do to get that look of like this on people's faces is going to be a good indication that you're doing it appropriately.